Hey YouTube, the Richician of Team Sorcerers here, and I thought I'd do a short series of videos about my decks. I was going to do it on my channel, but I thought I'd do it on this channel. But in a way, it's sort of... they're going to be sort of deck profile videos, but not really. Well, to be fair, I haven't done a deck profile on this channel in ages. So anyway, I'm covering decks based on certain summoning mechanics, and I now have at least one deck each that focuses on one summoning mechanic. I mean, I've got Elemental Heroes for fusions, Magician of Chaos for rituals, and this is separate from my pure Dark Magician deck, by the way. Stardust Junk for synchros, Melfi's for exceses, Odd Eyes Dimension Dragon for pendulums, and Cybus for links. It's basically inspired by the fact that Kasame Unlimited has decks that focus on each summoning mechanic, and that inspired me to do the same thing. So I'm going to go over one different video for each summoning mechanic, starting with fusions in this one. Actually, this was also inspired by what my good friend Wyvern Watch is doing, like showcasing one video with his wind decks, one with his earth decks, and so on and so forth. But this inspired me to do the same thing with different summoning mechanics. So anyway, let's go over the fusion decks, shall we? So here we are with my fusion decks. Elemental Heroes being my main fusion deck, and Rainbow Neos being the other one. These are two of my three favourite and signature decks in the whole game. I have played other decks based on fusions, and Dark Magician mainly uses fusions, although that uses other summoning methods. I'll do a separate video with that another time. But yeah, Elemental Heroes are where it's at. Along with the fact that it's my favourite summoning mechanic, being an old school duelist. Yeah, these decks I've had for a very long time. Elemental Heroes I've had since had for the last 19 years, Rainbow Neos for the last 17 years, pretty much. Yeah, it's both have changed and improved a lot over the years. I mean, Elemental Heroes, like, just basically a casual fun deck to start off with, and now it's one of my best decks ever, like one of the epic elite, you might say. It's hard to say which of these two decks is best. I mean, for a while, Rainbow Neos was the superior deck of the two, but I don't know, it's kind of even between them now, so it's hard to say, really. And with my Elemental Heroes, yeah, I've always focused it on the anime Elemental Heroes, and I still do to this day. I didn't want to run synchros, exceses, and even links in here. I wanted to keep it purely GX old school, and I didn't want to change it into the competitive hero deck, because I'd rather just do my own thing. I mean, more often than not, I prefer not to copy what other people are doing. Oh, that Bertie wanting to go out. I'll let him out shortly. But yeah, I've still got the classics. I mean, someone suggested dropping Clayman, but I am not doing that, because he's one of the original ones. It wouldn't be right to just drop him. Plus, he's low-key a fan favourite. I mean, it's people's favourite Earth elemental hero. But yeah, it wouldn't be right to just drop the original vanillas plus Flame Wingman and Thunder Giants. So I still like to have one of each. I've got pretty much almost all the originals. Even Bobbleman is still in here, as is my ultimate rare Blade Edge, the first Blade Edge I ever got. Wild Heart, Necroshade. Now, these four do make it a 44 card deck. Because I'm running some extra heroes in the extra deck, because here's something awkward, you see. Obviously in Richician format, which these decks fall under, the extra deck limit is 20, so I put in 5 extra elemental hero fusions, but rather annoyingly on Edo Pro there's no way to increase the extra deck limit or change it. For some reason I can do it in the duel settings, when setting up a duel, but that's kind of pointless, because when you go to the deck editing page there's no way to change the limit, and it just makes it annoying and awkward if people want to play like pre-synchro era formats. I wish there was a setting that just allowed you to do that for your own custom duels. So because of that, those 5 heroes aren't included in my online build, and I don't play these 4 in my online build, so it's still a 40 card deck. Now normally I prefer to have my decks at 40, it's just a really strong personal preference of mine. I just don't want to go over. But I'm willing to make an exception here, because elemental heroes are just ridiculously consistent anyway, because you've got, Stratos, Shadow Mist, E-Core, Rotor, plus the draw effects of Liquid Soldier and Crosskeeper. And of course Bobbleman, if you are able to get the effect off, which I have done a few times. Even Elemental Hero Neos has been included now, because of the support we've got in Power of the Elements. I never played it in my Elemental Hero deck before, because there was no reason to, but with Shining Neos Wingman now being a thing, it's become a necessity, really. So that's the anime Elemental Heroes I still play. Then you've got good old Honest Neos, which is a 2 of or 3 of, depending on your personal preference. Spirit of Neos, I'm really loving this card now. It's now becoming a favourite hand trap of mine, because with this, there isn't much need to play battle traps. Then Stratos, 2 of my original Shonen Jump promos. Not sure which one's my original copy, but I just love having this version. I mean, the Ultimate Rare is nice, and the Starlight Rare is nice, but I just personally prefer my Shonen Jump Ultras. Plus they have sentimental value, so I just prefer to have those if I can. Then good old Liquid Soldier, double Shadow Mist, and then because of Ian Engage Neospace, I have to play the Neospatians in here now, or at least 2 of them, and these are the best 2 in my personal opinion. You never know when Dark Panther can help you out, plus Grand Mol is just so good that it, for the longest time, it was limited. And it's Crosskeeper plus one King of the Swamp, because I wanted to have at least one for searching Polly and using as a substitute. And then we've got the standard spell lineup, like here's your searchers. That's standard for any hero deck. Ian engage Neospace, another way to get Spirit of Neos out. Instant contact, so I can quickly get out Flame Wingman or whatever. And 3 Miracle Fusions, one of my favourite spells in the game, and still the best spell in the deck. I mean, I don't really agree with the idea of just playing 2 or 1. I mean, it depends on the deck, but more often than not, 3 is a must. Even though I play 1 in my Rainbow Neos deck, it's still a great card to top into and get out whatever elemental hero fusion you need to turn the tide. And then the 3 polymerizations, like the original print of it. I mean, I just want to have that in here. Then 2 super polys, which you either love or hate. I mean, it's still there just because, really. I mean, I know some use it for OTK purposes, but I just use it to get rid of monsters that I can't get rid of any other way. Especially monsters that negate everything. Not that those are allowed, really, in Richician format, but still, I mean, it's also another way to help just get round things that have destruction immunity and targeting immunity, like a Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon, for instance, or Blue Eyes Alternative Ultimate Dragon. You just never know. And good old Pot of Greed. I mean, as I've said before, obviously still banned in normal current format, but I thought I'd allow it in mine just to try it out, and it doesn't really do that much. Really, it doesn't make much of a difference to how games generally go. And then, of course, Regeki and Twin Twisters, which I like to have in pretty much everything I play. And then I've got a small trap lineup, 2 favourite contacts. Some play 2, just 1 in a hero deck, but I kind of like having 2 for extra options, but yeah, I guess 3 might be a bit too much. And then my monster effect negation, 1 strike and 1 imperm. Now, the reason why the 1 imperm is because, well, no room for a playset, plus I only own 3 copies, and Solemn Strike we're planning to limit in my format, along with Judgment and Warning. I mean, at the time of recording, that change hasn't come into effect yet, but it will on June the 1st. And now for the Fusion deck. I know it's called the Extra deck, but I still call it the Fusion deck. Just because it's all fusions, and I still mainly try to have as many of the anime elemental heroes as possible. I mean, I'll show you which ones I still play. These first 3 are the extras. Got Electrum still, Plasma Vice, and I think I might have brought it up in another video on my channel, but there were 2 players from an old locals who called this a bad card, one of which keeps insulting the old classic anime elemental heroes, which I don't like and I really resent, because there's no such thing as a bad card. It just annoys me so much when people say things like that. They're just full of shit. And how is Plasma Vice bad. It's really not. Pierces destroys attack position monsters simply by discarding a card, and it's not once per turn. That's brilliant. It makes it one of the best Sparkman fusions as well. Alright, yeah, it does nothing against something with targeting immunity, destruction immunity, or is unaffected by card effects, but still, that doesn't make it bad, and not everyone's going to play that kind of monster. And then good old Wild Edge, original print, yeah. Shame it's got a crease, a big sad. I didn't do that though, it was like that when I got it. Oh, that's not one of the originals, but then we've got the boss monster, 2 copies of Elemental Hero's Shining Flare Wingman, the only 2 of I play, which has the rank of favourite Elemental Hero, or hero in general, favourite fusion monster and favourite warrior monster. Now, even though Elemental Heroes don't have a specific boss monster, I consider this the boss monster, at least of my Elemental Hero deck, just because you can power it up to loads of attack late game and just do big damage. It's so much fun. And I generally prefer to go for this card if I can. I mean, yeah, Shining Neos Wingman might be considered the newer boss monster, and while it is better, I still prefer Shining Flare Wingman. I prefer to defeat other people's boss monsters with this card and, win games with him, if I can. And good old Thunder Giant, yeah, lots of original prints of certain cards in here that I've had for a long time, and the original Flame Wingman. I need to have a Cyber Heroes episode where Flame Wingman actually attacks and does damage and even wins games, because it always gets fused off into Shining Flare Wingman, I've noticed. And then, and here's the other 2 extras from the extra 5. Dark Bright and Wild Wingman. I mean, Dark Bright's still good, nice mini Absolute Zero, and Wild Wingman, good for popping back row, and is an extra Wingman fusion that I can use to go into Shining Neos Wingman if need be. And of course, it's still worth playing all 6 of the Omni Elemental Heroes, the more generic ones. Great Tornado, Nova Master, the Shining, Absolute Zero, Escurida, and Gaia. Yeah. All original prints here. Funny how this one, Gaia's the odd one out, because it's the only one that's secret rare here. Level 6 and has 2200 base attack. Oh wait, their attacks are different here. These have 25, these have 26, that has 28. Okay, well, he's close enough to being the odd one out. And then we've got the extras, which are kind of a necessity, like Wake Up Your Elemental Hero. That's a good alternative to the Wingmen fusions. Sunrise for hunting out your miracle fusions and popping cards if need be, plus Flame Wingman Infernal Rage to search out favourite cards and bring out other fusions if a normal elemental hero is used. And then of course you've got the other big beaters, nice to have, like Nebula Neos. I don't go into it very often, it's just there as an option, in case Neos and my 2 Neospatian monsters are in the graveyard, in hand or on the field or banished, and I can just bring this out. I mean, banishing cards face down can be a nasty effect, which makes people hate it. I mean, I get that. I mean, I'd hate it if it was done to me, but honestly, in this deck, that seems to never come up. Of of course, if I bring it out of favourite contact, it doesn't come up anyway, because since obviously Neos is used, this can't be bounced back to the extra deck. So it's really usually there to let me draw extra cards and negate a face-up card. And then, of course, like I said, the other big boss, Shining Neos Wingman, which would have been considered one of those fan-made cards back in the day. Yeah, it's just super easy to bring out through the usual things that they do. It is a shame, though, that there are people who get annoyed when this comes out and then complain about playing against my elemental heroes because of it. And it just bothers me. I mean, I get it, because it can't be destroyed by card effects, and obviously if it's summoned off favourite contact, it can't be bounced or spun back to the extra deck, since Neos is used. Which means that things like Compulse, Castell, and Storming Miracles don't work. I mean, I get how annoying it is, but it's not impossible to get rid of. I mean, because, you can still kaiju it, you can still destroy it in battle, or you can just get rid of it with Zeus's effect, or even use a targeting effect that doesn't destroy or bounce, like Honorarch, for instance. Or even Nouvelle can just get rid of it. Then again, there was that one time where Emma was able to get rid of it, thanks to number 64 Ronin Raccoon Sandaiu. She just made a token with the same attack and just crashed into it, so yeah, that's another way to get rid of it. I mean, yeah, there is the risk of running into honest Neos, but since nowadays hero players seem to only play one of it, the chances of seeing it are very slim, and obviously if it's already been used, there's no chance of seeing it. Plus, at the end of the day, I'm not doing anything to stop you playing the game, when this card comes out. But yeah, that's my elemental heroes. God, I've been talking for 20 minutes now. Now for Rainbow Neos, my other hero deck of choice that I mainly use. I guess this one's more the main fusion deck, considering, well, I've got 2 Xyz monsters in here, Utopia and Utopia the Lightning. Now, they don't come out very much, but they're just there as extra options if I need them. And of course, I did have Isolde in this deck, which I was running for a while, which was pretty much needed during Master Rule 4, due to the stupid restrictions that we had. Of course, even when Master Rule 5 started, I've just kept it in there ever since until it got banned. But yeah, she just served it as an extra searcher, really, but the deck can just do fine without Isolde anyway. And yeah, the Utopia package is there if I need it, but other than that it's all fusion based, including good old Rainbow Neos himself, my second favourite fusion monster. Yeah, odd rarities I know, and I don't normally like playing cards in odd rarities, but I've had these ones in particular for such a long time that it just wouldn't be right to switch them out for certain rarities. But yeah, it's just an awesome card. 4500 attack, can spin stuff back to the opponent's deck, depending on what I need to spin back to basically turn the tide or gain some sort of advantage. Yeah, obviously not that easy to play back in the day. Yeah, because of awkward rulings with stuff like if you use Prisma Reveal Rainbow Neos, you can't send Rainbow Dragon or Rainbow Dark Dragon, just Neos, which for ages I thought was absolute bullshit, because it does specifically list them on the card. I don't know if you can see. Focus, please. No, it's just not going to focus. Okay, you can kind of see it. Obviously, it has been errated recently to say Rainbow Neos and one Ultimate Crystal Monster. Similar to the OCG wording. But yeah, because of that, there was just no way to search for Rainbow Dragon, which didn't make it that easy to play. But that didn't stop me though. And of course I couldn't use Witch of the Black Forest, which can search Rainbow Dragon out because it was banned for many years, so the alternative was Gold Sarcophagus, which I wasn't able to get until 2010. Of course, when Melody of the Awakening Dragon came out in 2015, that helped a lot. And it would be great when I could just play it, discard a Shadow Mist to add 2 Rainbow Dragons, then Shadow Mist would add the Neos, and provided I had Poly in hand, there you go, Bob's your uncle. And then of course Neos Fusion came along and just made Rainbow Neos a lot easier to bring out. And there was no need for any Rainbow Dragon searches, really. I'll just go over the other fusions as well. Yeah, Shining Neos Wingman's in there as well, because I've got Infernal Rage. There's Brave Neos, which doesn't come out as much in this deck, but it's just nice to have. And then of course I've got one of each of the Omni Elemental Heroes in here. I've got an Ultimate Nova Master in this deck, as you can see. There you are. The Shining, the only one here that's not an original print, but yeah, it's still nice to have those on hand, especially when some super poly plays come up. And you've got Wake Up Your Elemental Hero in here as well, Sunrise as well to add my one Miracle Fusion, Flame Wingman, Infernal Rage, and of course something else I wanted to try out, Guardian Chimera. Because there's not much in here that's locking me into only special summoning heroes. I don't think I've actually summoned this card in this deck yet, but again, it's another option to have if I need it. Just taking advantage of the 20 card extra deck limit in my format. And then the main deck, of course. Now, of all the decks I have, this one got the most hate. There are multiple people have been hating on this deck, which, well, on one hand I do get, but on the other I think the hate is just unfair and unjustified. It's like I play this and people either complain about Rainbow Neos himself or Neos Fusion, and again it just makes me sad as well as annoyed. Yeah, not just when people complain about Rainbow Neos, but just any deck that gets hate, like Elemental Heroes, as I discussed earlier, because of Shining Neos Wingman. I mean, yeah, I get the third effect is annoying, as it can ruin graveyard plays, and I get that Neos Fusion makes it too easy to summon and it gives a layer of protection, but yeah, as you can see, Vion is still in here, but so what? I mean, you can easily play around the layer of protection, just bait it out with one form of destruction and then get rid of it with another form of destruction, or you can just get rid of it with an effect that doesn't destroy. I mean, yeah, still got keepers in here to search the Neos Fusion. So yeah, Rainbow Neos, just it's not that hard to deal with. Plus, if I spin something back from one location, you still have another location to work with. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. This deck plus the Elemental Hero deck has the original print of Reinforcement of the Army, which is a nice flex as well. But yeah, regarding spinning back the graveyard, it's not like I'm just completely cutting it off, unlike Macro plus Dark Law. Here we go, there's the one Miracle Fusion, nice ultimate rare, which Marley gave me as a gift a while back. Same with this Utopia the Lightning, actually. I mean, that's quite nice. I did actually used to have a playset of Ultimates, but I think I traded or sold those. Anyway, here's Neos Fusion itself. I mean, there was even someone who said that this should be errated, so it does something else and doesn't have the layer of protection, but that would screw over Neo-Spacian decks, because this was what it was originally made for. I mean, it's another way to keep the Neo-Spacian fusions on the field. I mean, it doesn't just protect them from destruction. I mean, I think without Neos Fusion, then Neo-Spacians just get harder to play again. But yeah, it just so happens that Rainbow Neos can be summoned off it as well, but you know, it's not just used to bring Rainbow Neos out. But yeah, anyway, there was also an arsehole, multiple arseholes, who was giving me shit for just not banning it in Richician format. But it's like, well, why should you even care? It's like, you don't even play my format, and if you don't play my format, then what I hit or don't hit doesn't concern you. I just really don't understand why people have to interfere and get involved in things that don't concern them. Anyway, here's 3 other original prints of polymerization, suited for this deck as well. So there are 2 other super polys. Yeah, very similar spell lineup, minus certain ones. I mean, the hate has even gone as far as 2 certain people even putting in cards to specifically kill this deck. Anyway, my usual spell lineup here. So I'll just quickly wrap things up with the traps. 2 favourite contacts are in here as well, plus 2 fiendish chains, which I play instead of Solemn Strike, because it has multiple uses. I mean, if need be, I can send this off to use Rainbow Neos' second effect. The only thing is it stops me from using Treeborn Frog, which was something I used to play in here, because that gave me everlasting fodder for its first effect. I have ummed and ahed about whether or not to put it back in, but yeah. Anyway, the countering, I mean, that was sort of bad enough, but, giving me shit for not banning it in my format and even throwing insults was just taking the hate way too far. So yeah, on one hand, I get it, but on the other, again, like I said, I think the Rainbow Neo's hate is just unfair and unjustified. Plus, it's also funny how there have been people who hated on Rainbow Neos, yet they play degenerate boss monsters that actually do things that don't let anyone play the game. I mean, like, floodgates on legs, dark bribes on legs, monsters that negate everything. Like, meanwhile, Rainbow Neos, is literally not doing anything to stop you playing the game. I mean, those sorts of boss monsters that I just described, I mean, Rainbow Neos is nothing compared to them. Of course, this hate doesn't stop me playing them, though. I mean, I play these decks, just for the fun and enjoyment of it. I'm not one of those duelists that plays to stop the opponent from playing. I'm just playing these decks for the fun of it, like I said. And again, I'm not even doing anything to stop anyone playing the game. That's not the kind of duelist I am. And I don't do the things I do with these decks to annoy people. Because again, that's not in my nature as well. But anyway, that's going to wrap this video up. It was actually a longer one than I thought. But yeah, those are the fusion decks that I play. And yeah, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next ones.